Hi, my name is Julia Porter. You know the song, Searching for Love in All the Wrong Places? That's what I think. I was just searching for God in all the wrong places. I grew up in a Christian home. My mom was a Free Methodist. My parents had divorced when I was young too, so I had a stepdad who adopted us, and he took us to Connecticut for his job. And we started going to Berean Baptist Church. I called it a culty Baptist church. Where the women didn't wear pants or makeup. Nobody had TVs or radios. At that point, all of a sudden, our lives changed without any discussion. You know, we weren't allowed to watch TV, listen to radio, or do any of that. When I was 16, I don't know what happened at the church, but I was no longer accepted. I couldn't be in the Christmas play. I couldn't go outside and play with the kids that was taken away. I didn't run away from God necessarily, but I did from the church. When I was 30, my son was 4, and I just remember saying to God, I'm just gonna look for you. And so I just started reading about religion, but I never opened the Bible. But I read a bunch of different religious books. I'm not a social media person, or I don't belong to any social media. But I got stuck into watching YouTube, and I got sucked down this YouTube hole. And I found this video it came across about the Temple of Baal. They talked about how the archway was like an entry into the temple. It had been destroyed, but the archaeologists come about and said, let's rebuild this archway. Well, they wanted to premiere it in New York City, but the people knew this was the temple of Satan. They knew, they refused to have it. And all this stuff just started coming back, like Satan really exists. I thought, and there was God asking me, knocking on my heart, and I picked up my Bible and I just started reading it. And I thought I was stupid that I would be searching for God and never open His Word. So kind of silly. And what I noticed was, like, almost immediately I knew I had been doing something right, because everybody around it knew I started reading the Bible, just looked at me like I was crazy. And I thought, I could have any book in my hand. I could have the Satan's Bible in my hand. I could have all the Gnostic religions, the Hinduism, all this stuff. I could even have a porn magazine and nobody would cross their eyes at me. But I picked up the Bible and there was just something there. So the first thing I started just praying for, I said, I need wisdom and discernment. I felt like I had been fooled. So I was just searching all over for a church. I didn't know how to even find a church. There was something that I was listening to. They had a place you could look online and it would show you a church that might be in your area. At that time, I pretty much lost everything. I didn't have a job. I couldn't find a job. I eventually lost my home. I think COVID was a blessing in disguise for me, because I had been going to that church and I just kept asking God, do you want me to go here? And you know, he never told me not to, so I never stopped going. When COVID hit and they had just shut the doors, I was really floored at that time, because I thought, why are we shutting the doors on God? I don't understand this. I was actually a little upset by the fact that we just closed down everything, and I had just found God. And now I didn't have this place to go, and I didn't have, these sermons to listen to. I didn't have people to meet. I didn't have any of that stuff. Well, when COVID started and you couldn't go anywhere, and I was at home, somehow I came across Walter Weiss. He was always talking about the spirit of prophecy, spirit of prophecy. And I'm like, what is that? And it was a while before I knew what that was. Once I found out it was Ellen White, I had started looking her up on the internet. And I was able to download the books on my Kindle. I came here to meet God, and I came into this church, and I didn't say anything. I'm not good at meeting people and talking and starting conversations or anything like that. So I just would come in, and that was it. And then it was when they started, I think it was like November when they started doing Sabbath school. And so Melvin had come to me and he said, "You're going to be in my class." So we were in the class, and there was open discussion too. It's one thing that I really liked about the Adventist church, because I had watched a few different churches and how they interacted with the congregation, and to me it was like, wow, this is a study church. This church likes to study the Bible, and not once do they ever say don't study on your own, because they're constantly saying this is, I'm teaching you this, but you have to study this too. I knew at that point God had taken me through all of this stuff. He had opened my eyes. I told him that all I wanted was the truth. Just give me the truth. I don't want to keep living in this lie, and I want to have a knowledge to be able to discern things. I never really knew what being baptized meant. When you're baptized, you commit yourself to God. So I wanted to commit myself to God, to open the door so that I can walk with Him. Because I looked at myself when I first came, and I thought, oh, how lost am I? But you look around, and nobody's that much different or better than anybody else. So I just want to work for God. It doesn't matter what it is, where He calls me, what I have to do, or what I have to give up. I just want to work for Him.